We've seen more record high lake levels around the basin this year, and cities along the lakeshore are paying the price.
After several years of high precipitation, all 5 Great Lakes have been at or near record levels for much of the past year. Homeowners along the lakes have had to take expensive measures to move, protect, or demolish their houses before the waves or erosion could claim them. The high water threatens public property too, and along Michigan's Great Lakes shoreline, the longest of any U.S. state, many waterfront cities are facing mounting bills. The Michigan Municipal League has been tallying the cost of high water to the state cities since 2019, and the number is still climbing. Herasanna Richards is a legislative associate with the Michigan Municipal League.
The number that we have, approximately $70 million, isn't complete. We are recognizing right now in this crisis that there's a shortage of people who are able to contract and do this work and also do those actual infrastructure projects. So you'll have a lot of communities, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, who are still waiting to get someone to come out and assess their damage and also get those estimates to really know where they are. And so that number has been growing by the day, by the month.
Waterfront towns like South Haven on Michigan's western shore have incurred millions of dollars of unplanned costs. The city is a favorite of summer tourists, but record high water has shrunk the city's sugar sand beaches. And on March 5th, the city canceled its annual July 3rd fireworks, a major tourist draw and economic driver, not because of COVID-19, but out of concern that high water and waves could make it dangerous to launch from the city's iconic pier. Later that month, water levels hit another summer attraction, the city's marinas. Kate Hosier is South Haven's interim city manager and harbor master.
Boating and the harbor is pretty integral to the city of South Haven. We have 4 municipal marinas. The harbor is kind of right in the middle, like the heart of it, and the city wraps around it. It's a vital part of what makes South Haven South Haven. I'd say it's pretty important. There's a huge economic driver that is the port, with all the transient boaters that come in, from the seasonal boaters who stay here. On a normal July, every slip in this marina is filled by a boat.
But this year is different. In March of 2020, damage from the high water forced the city to close the 97-slip North Side Municipal Marina for the summer to make repairs and upgrades to deal with the high water.
We've shut this one down and are starting construction. So all these walkways, we're going to build them up about 12 to 13 inches. All the new utilities, all the new electric lines, water lines will be placed on the existing walkways. Then a new decking will be placed over top. So you're raising the docks and getting new utilities.
The closure and repairs are doubly draining on the city's finances.
By closing the marina, you no longer have the revenue and now you have to pay for it. So you're kind of getting hit twice. You have to come up with the money to make the repairs, and then of course you're not getting the revenue because you can't have boats in the slips.
Necessary work at the city's 4 municipal marinas will be expensive.
I would say that the high water issues have caused repairs and fixes in the range of between $4 and $5 million.
Of course, the costs don't end with the marinas. On April 29th, after heavy rains, the city saw widespread flooding along its riverfront. Bill Hunter is South Haven's Director of Public Works.
That day, I was constantly running around worried. I kept checking all the spots. You lose sleep when that happens. Massive flooding everywhere in town.
The water was high enough to threaten the city's wastewater treatment plant on the banks of the Black River.
Here at this plant, this area was all underneath water, but we had these pumps here at the time, which helped us. We just had them installed. They only been running for a few weeks. Probably if that would have happened prior to the pumps, we would have had sanitary sewer overflows, meaning the sanitary sewer would flood into the Black River and to Lake Michigan untreated. That would be the worst case scenario.
Another worst case scenario? Treated water should exit the plant by gravity, pouring from an outfall pipe into the Black River. But the high water means the outfall pipe is submerged, which can slow the flow from the plant.
This is your effluent going out. The water, as you can see right now, is not flowing. In a normal year, you would just see the water like a creek going by, see the water just flowing. Now it's just kind of stagnant.
The city has had to run pumps to move the treated water out of the plant. Without the pumps, things could get ugly for anyone connected to the sewer lines.
If you cannot release your treated water into your outfall, all of that gets stuck in the plant. And since it's gravity fed and it can't push out, that means it stays stuck in the plant, and all the stuff that's being pumped into your system from lift stations, from homes, from businesses, stays in the line, or if it can't move, it gets backed up into people's houses. Nobody wants sewer in their house.
The wastewater treatment plant is now protected by lines of HESCO barriers, sand-filled containers that form a wall to stop water and waves. In May, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers helped to install more barriers on South Haven's waterfront, but they aren't protecting the beach. They're protecting the city's water filtration plant and a critical 1 million gallon reservoir of drinking water that's buried beneath the sand.
If you don't have that holding tank, you basically have to issue a system-wide boil notice. So all 11,000 people would have to immediately start boiling their water to be able to use.
Elsewhere in the community, flooding has remained a problem. Around the intersection of Dunkley and Wells, the spring floods never left.
That whole area is still flooded. We have 2 pumps already in there to dewater the area. We did that last year. This year, those pumps can't keep up, so we're proposing to put in more sandbags plus the Tiger Dam system. That's an $82,000 expense, not budgeted.
Early estimates put the total cost at $11 to $20 million. As of early July, the high end of that range is looking more accurate. Of course, these problems are not without precedent. In 1986, during the last round of record-setting water levels, governments asked the International Joint Commission to prepare a report and recommend actions. Rob Sisson is one of the IJC's U.S. commissioners.
When you read through it, the theme of climate change comes through loud and clear, coastal resiliency, a lot of recommendations for infrastructure for municipalities around the Great Lakes, and those largely have sat on a shelf for the intervening years because the water levels came right down.
Sisson hopes that this time, lessons learned will be acted upon.
I know communities are hurting and they're going to need millions and millions of dollars of assistance to bring their systems up to speed. It's going to be more than local governments can handle. The high water emergency that exists today does give us, I think, the ability to bring governments together and stakeholders together to discuss, let's put a plan in place for the long term. Let's get together, let's build a resiliency plan for the future, because we know we're going to face higher highs and lower lows in the future.
At Great Lakes Now, we aim to cover the Great Lakes region and the people who live here, like you. Please follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our newsletter at greatlakesnow.org.